espero que nadie se ofenda, pero hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Só nós sentimos assim. Por muitos desgostos que possamos ter, valores mais altos se levantam. O valor mais alto que se levanta em termos futebolísticos chama-se Benfica.
Good evening. Welcome to episode 25 of Continue Benfiquista, titled Passion, Desire, and COVID. We got lots of it today to talk about.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Welcome.
What's up, boys?
Kenny, Oscar. How's everyone doing?
Good, man. Another day.
Yeah, another day. Today, we're going to talk about the 1-1 draw against Porto at the Estádio de Dragão on Friday. Lots to talk about in that game. We'll also talk about tomorrow's game against Braga and get your thoughts on that. And then we have a little Taça da Liga trivia at the end of the podcast. Starting with, I guess, before we get started, so I don't do like I did last week, don't forget Exotic Dream Rentals, sponsored by them. Check them out on Facebook. You can get $10 off per day per rental. Let Patrick know that we sent you. So again, Exotic Dream Rentals, you can check them out on their Facebook page, and you can book directly through their Facebook page. Now that that's out of the way, so don't forget. Porto on Friday. Started with Odysseus, Gilberto, Vertonghen, and Otamendi. JJ throws us a curveball. Nuno Tavares at left back, Grimaldo at left wing, Weigl, Pizzi, Rafa, Seferovic, and Darwin. I don't think many of us thought Seferovic was going to start since he played the whole game against Minnesota, but he did. None of us thought he was going to put Grimaldo in Everton's spot, but it's typical JJ. A game that we saw a little bit more of passion, a little bit more of aggression. Benfica had 26 fouls in that game, which in comparison to the Supertaça game that we played against Porto, we had 17. Benfica had 4 shots on target, 6 off target. So it was a different look than we expected for sure. I'll start with Kenny. I guess, what were your thoughts overall of the game? And was what we saw in terms of that passion, that desire, that grit, that attitude, was that what we've been looking for? Were you happy with it? What are your thoughts?
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Completely different game than from the first one. And I can't wait to hear what Oscar has to say about Jesus today, because, as you said, no one was expecting that little wrinkle in the lineup, but it was perfect. I mean, Grimaldo was probably our best player, but I would say, as a whole, I loved the will, the fight, the intensity they came out with throughout the entire game. At the end, they lost a little bit of steam. With the red card, I wanted them to really find that second goal, but yeah, I mean, complete opposite game from the Taça game.
Are you, in terms of, you mentioned the red card, and that's, I've seen a couple of different podcasts and I listened to a few different ones, and I've seen some people say that when Taremi got that sending off, that they would have liked to see JJ kind of go for it. Right. And we look at the substitutions, right? Grimaldo came off in the 83rd minute for Everton, so they were already down to 10 men. Chiquinho came in for Pizzi. They were already
Pizzi was on the yellow.
Correct. And ironically, Chiquinho comes in the 77th minute
right
and he got a yellow in the 78th minute. So,
yeah.
First thing he did.
And Waldschmidt came in the 92nd minute. So I guess, since you mentioned it, what are your thoughts in terms of those final 20, 25 minutes with an extra man? Are you disappointed that he didn't go for it, that he didn't kind of, as they say in Portuguese, meter toda a carne no assador? or are you content with the way they approached it? Because, I mean, realistically, Marega had a chance to win the game for them after they were down to 10 men. So I guess, what are your thoughts on the approach of the substitutions and the changes being up a man?
Yeah, I mean, I think you put in he made the right changes, right? You couldn't risk the yellow on Pizzi, so you put in Shikim. Even though he got the quick yellow, you still don't want to take that risk. You put in the best players that you could. Now, you also don't want to lose the result, right? I think that's what he's thinking. He doesn't want to lose the result. You don't want to throw it completely at them, but the team itself put so much effort in that first half. I mean, you could just tell that second half they didn't, especially towards the end, they just didn't have enough. But I was content with it. I thought he did the right thing.
Yeah, and that's the fourth time Benfica was facing the possibility of losing 5 straight against Porto. The previous 3 times they won that match to break that cycle. This time they drew, but at least they didn't lose. Jay, I'll pass the ball to you. What are your thoughts on the performance? And Kenny touched on here saying, actually, I'm going to ask you this question because I know you've been an advocate for it. Pizzi-Weigl partnership. I know that we've criticized or speculated of the potential of there being an issue with the 2-man midfield against some of the bigger clubs. I will admit that Pizzi and Weigl made me a bit nervous just because we lack a little bit of steel in there with Pizzi. But given the fact that the entire team looked like they were up for it, I think that helped compensate for that. So I'll pass it to you.
For that, I said it. I'll apologize. That was Pizzi's probably best game I've seen. Like the way he hustled, the way he played, the whole 9 yards. He showed up to play against Porto. He covered his man, like the way Benfica was playing, dude. Like I'm not like you guys can laugh, but like the way he was playing, him and Weigl in the middle destroyed Porto's Porto moving forward. They just kept doing long balls over the top, and they would lose possession right away. They couldn't move the ball. Like we had him covered with those 2 middies, and if Pizzi hustles the way he hustles, like the way he played, he could be like unbelievable. He could play any position on that midfield for Benfica. In reality, I
think they all fed off of each other, right? Like you could tell the team was just like getting into tackles. There was one play that I mentioned in my article that it was in midfield. It was Pizzi, Vertonghen, and Grimaldo, right? Like Vertonghen and Grimaldo went down to the ground to make a tackle. They got back up, went at it again, and then Sergio Oliveira was frustrated and he went to punt it off of Pizzi and he sent it out for a goal kick on the other end of the field. But before you go into what your thoughts on the match, I was going to say Oscar's going to have to back up a little bit. His head's getting so big from your.
No, I thought Pizzi's ball though, dude. I thought he did really well.
So he showed up in a big game.
He showed up, big game. Pizzi showed up.
What were your thoughts overall on the match? What do you take away from it?
Benfica played with balls, dude, and they kept hitting Porto. They hit Marega like 3 or 4 times. They put him on the ground. I was like, yes, keep hitting him. He was like. Not like he did have that opportunity towards the end, and he did. He's the one that scored the goal, wasn't he?
No. Yeah, they gave it to him after.
Yeah. And he got the goal, but like besides that, he was like really he was just on the ground. He was just getting beat up. Nuno, like, we talked about it on our group chat. Nuno Tavares before half gave him like an elbow and a knee at the same time, like on a header. Like they just played aggressive. Like I haven't seen Benfica played like that. In a long, long time. Like Mike, I think Mike said it on the group ball. If you can play with balls, and I completely agree with it. They just showed up, and Weigl to me was the player of the match. I thought he put Sergio on his back pocket. Sergio was non-existent for Porto because of Weigl, I thought. So I thought that partnership, and I feel like even Grimaldo playing on the wing, it helped Nuno Tavares because Nuno Tavares played really well as well. Maybe it helped like Everton, like I think you mentioned it as well in the chat that Everton doesn't really help defensively, and that's where Nuno Tavares gets screwed. Grimaldo helps, and you saw like Nuno Tavares. I never saw Nuno Tavares play that good. Like I said good things about him before, but like that was his best game. Like at least I thought the way he played. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I would agree, especially coming off the game against Tula Amadora. That might have been his worst that he's ever played. Oscar, I'll pass it to you. Thoughts on the game, and then I'm going to ask you the question in terms of the wild card that JJ threw out there. I know that you've been a vocal disliker of JJ. What were your thoughts when you? Well, I guess I know what your thoughts were when you saw the. And he's like, now we're going to lose 3 or 4 zeros.
You should have had a show with Oscar's comments about before. That would have been hilarious.
So I guess now that we have the platform, voice your thoughts on what you thought when the starting 11 came out, and seeing how it played out. What are your thoughts on that as well? You're muted.
You're on mute.
You're mute, guy.
You missed your intro.
That was my time to shine. I was like,
I know.
All right. So, when I saw the lineup coming up, my first thing was like, oh shit, another 5-0 like David Luiz, and then when I left back, I'm like, there we go, we're gonna get fucked. Like that was my first thought, right? I even texted you guys saying 4-0. Yeah. So I'm and then the game started playing, and then what changed my mind was how aggressive the Benfica came out playing. Right, these guys. And then we talked about leading up to. I think we should talk shit about these players, and then they come and show us wrong, and prove us wrong, right? We talk shit about how Pizzi couldn't lead a team, how Pizzi is not the type of player to lead a team. We saw the fucker shove Pepe to the ground. We saw him kick the ball at Sergio Oliveira when he was in the ground. That's the aggression I want from Pizzi as a leader, right?
Yep,
that
agree.
Only gets other guys like Gilberto that is new to the team, like the young kids. On his back, like Waldo, like Weigl, those guys get right on his back and start being aggressive too. I love that about Pizzi. I love that he did that. Could he gotten a red card during that game? I'm not going to deny it. He should.
Yeah, he
could have gotten a second yellow easily, okay? That one time that he fell on Barega's leg as he was running to the corner flag, that could have easily been a yellow card and he would have been gone, right? Yeah. I'm not denying that, but the aggression. But then Porto should have played with 7 players too, because some of those players, especially Sergio Oliveira, diving like a freaking Madonna onto like somebody rapes them or something. I don't fucking know how to do that. But that guy is the biggest pitch I've seen playing soccer in Portugal. The biggest pitch, Sergio Oliveira. I hope he never plays for Seleção because I fucking hate him.
Especially that fall that Pizzi ended up pushing Pep for. Like he literally just like fell over.
I know. No. When Pizzi picked the ball at him, right? I swear to God, I thought he was gonna have he was gonna go into a coma or something because the way the ball hit his chest, and then he just goes around like the ball hit him a billion miles an hour, and he got a bullet to the chest. I'm like, pathetic, dude. Get up. Now, nobody from England is gonna buy you because you're a piece of shit. You're a bitch, right? So, that was my. I love the guy that Benfica showed during this game, and I said I was vocal about it at the end of the game. This is the first time I see Benfica going up to Porto to Dragão and getting 63% possession. Mm-hmm. That's the first time since I watched soccer them doing that.
They couldn't do anything though. Like Porto couldn't. Like they would just circle the ball in the back and then they had to punt it up because Benfica was just covering all their players.
And the thing is, Benfica didn't give them no time. So like they were getting frustrated with they couldn't get the rhythm going. Yeah, they had 2 chances to score or a chance to score, but they didn't create much else. The Benfica didn't allow them to create much else. And we had the possession. We could have done so much more. And I'm so pissed that we tied this game because this in the game we could have won 3-1, 4-1 easily. But
Darwin should have put that away.
Yeah, but besides that, man, I was happy with the team. I give it up to Jesus for giving this. And this is the first time I'll ever say this, and probably the last. But that little trick that he did there worked out because if it was Everton playing, he wouldn't help defend, and then that's when issues they caused issues because Corona on that side and Zayu, what's his name? The left right back.
Zaidu.
Yeah, Nanu. Zaidu's left back.
Yeah, whatever. Those guys are fast, and if we had Everton there, we could have gotten a lot of trouble. Would I have to? I don't know what was the issue with Grimaldo at the end. Would I have taken Grimaldo out? No, I would have put Grimaldo back and taken out Tavares.
He has to come out.
I wasn't aware of that, so I didn't know that.
He made it. I didn't either. I said the same thing when he came out. I told my dad, I was like, I would have taken out Tavares and moved him back.
Yes,
but I saw after that he gestured to the bench to come out, so he might have been just gassed.
Another thing is, man, our CVs are getting glued in.
I loved it. Yeah.
They're both of those guys at the minute. Now we're getting the Verissimo guy. He'll ride bench. I don't think he'll take any of these guys' spot. I really don't.
This was the game I saw the most aggression from Vertonghen. Like he was
high tackling everything.
That time he tackles the side where they even Pizzi should have gotten a yellow. It wasn't even Pizzi's side tackling. It was Vertonghen. Dude, that guy just wiped them out. Dude. That's I love that about those guys. So man, this is maybe if they can keep this going, we smoke Sporting 3-0 easily. If they just keep with it.
Gilberto had a pretty decent game.
Oh, yeah,
he did.
Like he continues game in. Like the last 6 or 7, he's starting to string up a lot of games in a row. So that's good to see.
Yeah, no, he played phenomenal. And then I think Audi had a couple saves that
2 big saves.
Yeah, that like.
What was the second one? The first one was on the header in the second half. I'm trying to think of what the first one was.
There was one we thought it was offside, but he legit went dig down to get it. And
went down to the ground.
It was Uribe's shot.
Yeah, and the replay showed that the guy was not off. So if they went to replay on that, would have been a goal. So that was the big save. You know, that he steps up to those big chances. Like, you know, the Porto can create 2 big chances, and we need a goalkeeper that can save those. And he stepped up too.
What do you guys think about
their goal was shit too, dude.
Yeah, it was going out of bounds. If it doesn't hit him, it's not going in. What do you guys think about? I think in that first half, Rafa was basically the key that unlocked there. Every time he went with the ball, he basically had them they didn't know what the hell to do with themselves.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, you kind of could tell he lost a little bit of gas. But what are your thoughts on that? And again, I think it touches on, we've talked about it in the past, right? He's unable to put together a full 90 minutes, and probably because of just the energy that he puts into it. But defensively, he was a workhorse. I mean, there was a few times he came back.
There was one play I remember on the left-hand side.
Back.
He sprinted back. So we're used to seeing that, right? He comes back, he takes the ball away. He not only took the ball away,
shouldered him.
He took Merega to the ground. He dude, I
thought
it. That's the attitude they needed. Back. No, it was Merega.
All right.
He chased
I can't remember who it was, but I remember that play.
And he knocked him down. Dude, I loved it. There was definitely a message in that locker room to start the game that this is what we were going to do. It wasn't a thing that just happened, like this is how, like there was a message, and I loved it. They played like that the entire time, especially in that first half. And like you could see Porto was it like shocked them. It was like the Miracle on Ice, like when the U.S. was like pushing around the Russians on that in that the USA-Russia hockey game.
Yeah.
It was like that. Like they were like, okay, who are these guys? Like they were not expecting that.
Yeah, that Mike is right. Is it Luis?
I think it was Luis Diaz.
Yeah, it was Luis Diaz.
I think that's what it was.
On Luis Diaz. I thought it was Merega. But
he started from behind and he caught up to him, shouldered him to the ground and got the ball and just walked back with it. I'm like, dude, that's fucking awesome.
But what do you guys think? And I guess.
The thing with Rafa, I just feel like he with the runs that he makes, that's how he just gets tired, dude. He sprints up and down, and he just doesn't have the stamina, I guess, to play the full 90 like that. But if he gives you like 65 to 70 minutes full speed like that, you'll take it.
And not only that, Jay, you have to think.
But like he legit runs. Like if the ball's on his side, he's back and forth. He's not like sitting around. Like Everton, sometimes you see him like lackadaising, like in like I don't know. It's just not a lot of movements. And I think it also what you said about the statement. I think the statement was the starting lineup when they saw Grimaldo up there and Everton on the bench. They were probably like, dude, okay, something's up. Like people started probably thinking in their heads is like some guys have to step up, and we've all said that Everton needs to step up, and maybe the coach is starting to see that as well.
One thing that I noticed, along with the kind of the passion and the grit that they played with, was I don't know if you guys noticed, but everyone on the bench was engaged. Like fouls, anything, they were up on their feet, they were voicing their opinions, and I feel like that's hurt us in the past because a lot of times we don't get the fouls because we don't complain enough, I feel, right? Like Porto goes down or any other team goes down, they're always yelling at the ref, they're chasing the ref, right? And especially in these games, right? Like a penalty, they chase the ref, right? And then they go and review it, or right, they put that pressure and make them make that decision in the moment, and even the bench. But I guess my question to you guys is, I'm assuming JJ relayed that message, but what the hell could have been said that would have triggered this team to basically turn around their performance levels from one game to the next?
So two things: they listen to this podcast, and and B the bench guys, right? The assistants, they definitely pay the price though, because they're now all full of COVID.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
So, but I don't know. I think it came down to Pizzi. I mean, someone had to say something. I think Pizzi. I think Luizão had a lot to do with that. I think Luizão's pretty. I think that's why he's there, right? To be the vocal voice in that locker room as well. That's where I think the message came from.
I think, you know how when we had a chance to win the Pentacampeonato, right? And then Porto didn't want that to happen at all, so they played with balls out to stop us from winning that Campeonato. I think is for the first time ever, we could have gone 5 in a row losing against them. And I think the message was across. We cannot let this happen.
Yeah.
Go out, play balls out. We cannot let this happen.
And before we go to the play of the match and the man of the match, what are your thoughts? I know we touched on it briefly, but Weigl, transformation, right? Like, this guy came in last year. He was criticized heavily. He's the guy that's dividing the locker room, whatever the case may be. He started playing, then he was out of the team. This year, again, he didn't have many opportunities to start. Then JJ started to take the chance on him. He's played maybe 6-7 straight games now. And he's really, really growing into that position. Not just we know in that first phase of constructing the attack, he's more certain with his passes than a Gabriel or a Tarat. But even the other day, like, his just aggression, like, he's naturally not an aggressive guy. But he was just right. And like, it just seems that JJ's message of how he wants him to play is finally kind of getting around to him. What do you think, or how do you guys see that kind of development and progression? But then also, I think he's an automatic in the team sheet now, right? I don't know.
Sure.
I don't think he's a question mark. But with that said, if Weigl's an automatic in the starting 11, right, what does that say for? I think the only other two that are in debate for that other midfield position are Gabi and Pizzi. But I think Gabi's been out for so long. I think Pizzi made a statement for himself the other day that, maybe this is my role. But your thoughts on that? And whoever wants to go first can go first.
Well, that's Tank's role right there. Tank, come on, take it on, bro.
I mean, I already touched base on it. I thought that's a good partnership. I've always said that Pizzi can play in the midfield, and that's probably his best position to play on this team, the way Jorge Jesus plays. With the other guys that we have on the team, that's the one spot that we need Pizzi to play. There's not many guys, like, unless you want to throw Tarab in there. We've already seen what he does with Gabi. I don't know what's going on with Gabi. I don't think anyone really knows, but it's got to be Pizzi. If it's not Pizzi, then you gotta go find someone. But I think that's a perfect spot for Pizzi if he grows within that position. I think he can be really helpful for Benfica because he can control. He can basically start Benfica's offense, swing the ball one way, swing the ball the other, or get a good pass going to the left side. Like, he'll do like better decisions than what Tarab was doing, which was losing the ball as soon as he got it.
So I think this is the formula, right? What we did with Porto is the formula. Now, I'm not going to say that I would continue to play Nuno, Tavares, and Grimaldo on the wing there, but I would say that midfield, definitely those two seem to be meshing right now, and I wouldn't touch that. Now, I don't know with the acquisition of, like, I thought Todibo had a good game the other day. I think he could probably be in the mix with the center backs. We're getting Lucas Veríssimo. I don't know if he's going to change the lineup to a three in the back, which then you're going to have to put someone else in the midfield there. So then you got a triangle. I don't know who else would jump in there unless they sign someone new. I would assume that it's either going to be Tarat or Gabriel, and Tarat seems to. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Chiquinho.
Yeah, but it seems like I feel like I'd rather have him there than Tarab, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see, but I think definitely the two that are meshing right now in these last couple of games are Pizzi and Weigl.
Well, to touch on Go ahead, Oscar.
Give my little 2 cents on this. I'm not gonna agree with you guys that Pizzi and Weigl are our best 2 midfielders. I think they are when we have the ball, and if we have the ball, I think that's the type of game we will see from them. If we don't have the ball, this percentage was the other way around. I don't think Pizzi and Weigl would be the guys to defend somebody else with the ball, the other team with the ball. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it. I think with the types of players that Pizzi and Weigl are, Weigl is growing to the Matip type of player, isn't he? To me, he's like he's fitting in that role. That he's slow on the ball, but he knows exactly how to control the ball, how to treat it. So he's growing into the Matip role, which I love because Matip was one of our best midfielders we had there, right? So the other position, Pizzi had an unbelievable game defensively and offensively against Porto, right? Well, do I see that every single time against a top team? Well, that's not I guess Porto is a team likes to have the ball, right? So I guess we'll see in a couple of weeks. Let's see how that plays out with Sporting, because Sporting likes to have the ball too. So maybe, and I'm not taking away from that the duo in the middle, but man, I think Gabriel has a spot in there.
But I'll just add this: if like the one difference that I saw in this game were that the center backs were much more aggressive. In previous games, they were just sitting back and not going at balls. Like Vertonghen, Otamendi, they were like in the midfield winning headers. Like they weren't just sitting back and letting Weigl do the work. Yeah. Like they were stepping up a lot. So if those two continue, like just think about it. If you win that first ball, you don't have to worry about really anything else. So if those three, Otta, Vertonghen, Weigl, can win the first ball and continue to win that first ball, it makes it a lot easier.
Of course.
But I think what also helped it was the fact that we were pushing so high, right? Because then it allows them to take more risk and step up. Mm-hmm. Because Porto was playing they were trying a lot of long ball. Benfica was allowing Marchesín to have the ball. As soon as they got it out to one of the center backs, right, then Benfica stepped up. They would move it around and then try to go long to Marega and behind, right? But
what Tavares was.
Correct. But
the first kick.
Yeah. But the thing that helped was, one, Weigl drops in between the center backs very well. And two, at times, Benfica almost defended with a 5 across the back because Grimaldo would drop back and Tavares had the ability to slide inside, right? So at that point, you have a lot more capabilities from a defensive standpoint because Grimaldo defends, Tavares defends, and Weigl defends, right? So you have those guys kind of sliding into those spots. It gives you a lot more bodies behind the ball to do stuff with, especially against an opponent that's mainly looking for the deep ball, since we eliminated their play down the right side, right? Because with Tavares and Grimaldo there, Nanu and Corona weren't able to do much. And that right side is Porto's strength, right? That's normally where they like to attack and then come inside. And we took that away from them, which I think made it more difficult for them. One more thing on this game. Where the hell is it? I had a note here. Touching on Bill's comment here earlier. He says, Grimaldo is not only our best left back, he's our best left winger.
At the moment.
I mean, I'll open it up to you guys, but I know we've talked about Everton not giving us a full 90 minutes. I will say that Everton, when he came in, he had a couple of, 10 minutes of some decent performance. I mean, we've talked about it before. I don't think Grimaldo or Nuno Tavares are the perfect mold of a defensive left back. But I think Grimaldo going forward gives us a shit ton of capabilities in many different ways. He can get down the line. He can come inside. He can get in behind defenders, which was the goal that we scored.
He doesn't cut to the middle every 10 times, like every single time he touches the ball.
Well, Everton wants to come in and shoot. That's the thing. He's not a lefty, and he's playing out on the left.
But like,
right? So naturally, you're going to come in.
Like the way Grimaldo played, it just like we were flying through that left side sometimes. I was like, all right, I like the way this is going. But I don't know.
What do you guys think about that kind of statement? Would you like to see Grimaldo more further up the field? I guess. What do you guys think?
I really think because it's not the first time he's doing that. He's pushing Grimaldo up, right? He might be onto something. He might be onto getting the three center backs and having Grimaldo as a wing back. One of those guys that plays a midfield and helps defend. So maybe he's molding him to do that. I don't know, because it's not the first time he's putting Grimaldo up there and with Tavares in the back behind him.
especially with like obviously he thinks highly of him. He doesn't even put 70 there. He puts him there. So
no, because
he might have an upper hand. He might have an upper hand. And just by playing better offensively than the other guys are.
If he goes 3 center backs, he has to those.
Yeah,
those
you need the wing.
Can't be there, right? So who's going to take out? He's got to take out one guy, and Grimaldo, if playing the wing position, could be the solution.
Because before we start talking about 3 center backs, let's actually see it in the game before. Because like we could talk about he wants to do that, but we don't know. We're probably going to play 4-4-2 the whole season. We don't know that. You're probably right. We could switch it up to a 3-5-2 by mid-season or by like February or something. Like I don't know, but like right now the way it's going, I don't see him changing his formation. I think it's still going to be what he's been going with.
I think I would just say like, I mean Everton definitely needed a wake up call, right? Hopefully this benching during a Clásico is a wake up call for him. I don't know if he's got to play. I mean he was one of your biggest signings this summer, and he comes with a lot of praise. He's got to play somewhere, unless you try him in the in the midfield somewhere. If you try him behind the forward, and in that that creative midfield, whatever the player behind.
I was actually going to mention that. How about if you see him behind like where Luka plays or maybe Seth plays behind Darwin, like. Yeah, put him there. Maybe
try him somewhere else to see if something else sparks up, just like we saw in this game. But he's got to play somewhere.
Yeah, it would be bad if he didn't play. I just don't know if he'd fit in that number 10 role because he likes to normally start outside and come inside.
But you've said this. That's where he
played in Brazil.
Brazil, he played wide on the front 3, like when Benfica used to play with Vitória. Basically, you got 3 guys in the front, don't have to defend as much. And I think that's what's causing him issues is he's having to defend, right? He's going to have just picture the running that Grimaldo did against Porto, right? Like Everton does it. I don't necessarily think I want him doing that, right? He's got so much talent in the final third. I'd rather him waste his energies in the final third, right? He's not a guy like Rafa that, is going to give you countless energy for 60, 65 minutes, 70 minutes, right? Everton's a guy that's going to have bursts here and there, and he's more technical. You need to have him in the final third, right? If he's wasting his energy defending and tracking back 50, 60 yards, right, he's not going to have much of that explosion in the final third when you need him, right? And I think we saw that a little bit when he came in, right? Those final 10 minutes, right? He had 2 plays that he turned that defender inside out.
Yeah, I remember that.
He turned his body and came back inside. So I don't know. He has to play. I agree with you, Ken. I think he has to play. It's just a matter of figuring out how the hell we make it work with his strengths and his weaknesses.
Well, his strength is he can go forward, and his weakness is defending. So the only position he really can play is behind the striker or the striker position.
That's our issue on that whole left side. Yeah, Tavares, Grimaldo, and Everton. They can all go forward. They can't come back.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So true.
I don't want Everton likes to cut. He can't use his left foot, right? So he's always cutting in to shoot or whatnot. I'm surprised Jesus hasn't used Rafa on the left and Everton on the right.
They switched them last game.
Yeah, they switched during the game
a couple of times. Yeah,
I don't see Everton much.
But again, they're not even Rafa. They're not guys that like to go to the wing or go to the end line and put a ball in. That's just not their style of play. They like to come inside. Pizzi's the same way. When he played out wide, he always liked to operate in between that center back and the outside back. He always liked to come inside. They're just not players. We don't have out-and-out wingers that just north to south, get down the line, cross the ball in. Back up, get down the line, cross the ball in. We just don't have players like that.
No, he's not. He just doesn't play.
Servi. Well, he's gone now. He's gone to the MLS. Quickly, Jota at New York, I believe they finalized it. Jota's up late. He's it's got to be what, 1 o'clock there? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, almost 2 o'clock. He's up watching us. Who wants to sum up their thoughts on Nuno Tavares? I guess, Oscar, I'll give it to you. Sum up 30 seconds on your thought on Tavares' performance this past Friday.
All right. Nuno Tavares like a roller coaster, right? So up and down, up and down, up and down. So do I trust him? 100% no. I don't trust him. So would I play him? 100% I wouldn't play him. Did he have a good game? Yes, he did have a good game. why did he have a good game? I think because Grimaldo was there and helped.
Grimaldo was helping him. Yeah.
Every single time that Tavares went up, you see the Grimaldo filling his spot back there, right? That you never see that with Everton there, right? So I give credit to Tavares, did a good, decent game, but more credit to Grimaldo for doing the attacking and the defending and helping him out. So yeah, my 2 cents on Tavares, he still stopped.
Jay was hopeful that he was going to get a good, props to Tavares, and he had to dub it down a little bit at the end.
I agree with everything Oscar says, and I'll leave it to Tank.
I don't know. I thought he played really well. Was really physical. He, like I said, he was bodying Marega a few times. He was bodying the wingers. I thought he played really well.
You called it jiu-jitsu. I remember you said
dude, he legit. Look, you didn't see that, dude? He saw an elbow, then a knee to the face. I was like, dude, what the hell is that?
When I saw I told you guys when I saw the starting 11, I said he was going to have a good game.
Yeah, you did.
And I think
I was actually scared about it too. And I was like, oh boy, I don't know about this. But then he started playing, and like I said, just the way he was just physical and he was aggressive, and I feel like he played with freedom, and like maybe that's because he had Grimaldo there as like some insurance on if he went all the way up, because maybe when he plays with Everton, he's like, fuck, I got to track back as fast as I can because this guy's not. He's still up here up front with me, and I have to track back to my position.
But even with Everton, I feel like he almost has that responsibility of having to get down the line. Whereas with Grimaldo, he doesn't necessarily have to, because Grimaldo can do that, right? Whereas Everton likes to come inside. So, like I told you guys before the match, I think it worked out well because Nuno Tavares likes to put in early crosses, right? Which is how the goal came, right? He put an early cross in. So he doesn't have to go those extra 10, 15 yards, right? Which is 10, 15 yards less that he has to recover. But then he's got a guy that can give him that line, can give him inside. But then if he has to go to the line, he's got a guy that he knows can come back for him. Right. And they interchanged a couple of times. But I think as a defender, that gives you a little bit more confidence, right? Like if I go up and I'm like, fuck, Everton's the guy that's got to go back and chase Marega, I'm fucked. He's never going to get him, right? Like say they switch that around, right? Say Grimaldo plays on that left side against Marega, right? Like a lot of those balls that Nuno Tavares won in the air, those shoulder to shoulder, like Grimaldo gets fucking buried every single one of those times, right? So I think that is a huge piece to having disrupted Porto's style of play, because that's what they were looking for, and they had someone to match him pound for pound every time that he went for it.
I seriously think that Benfica's plan on Marega was get him on the ground, hit him, and knock him on the ground. Because, dude, he took some pretty big knocks. Like there was a few of them. I'm like, oh, that's gonna hurt. Like he got like a cleat right in his Achilles. Like one time,
I thought he was gonna come out. I thought he was hurt at the beginning. I thought he was going to end up coming out.
I seriously think that was their strategy. He's like, putting Marega no show. That's it. Just put it on the ground.
Just do better well because you're right, dude. From the beginning they're going to use that left wing or the right wing to attack, right? That long balls that way. Marega can use his speed, and the only guy that can actually keep up with Marega on his speed is probably Nuno Tavares. So even if you don't
physically too,
Tavares is a big boy.
Yeah, and a big boy. So even if you don't defend well, which he doesn't, just cover that space. Just make sure you're there. Just make sure you bump him out the ball. Make sure you karate kick him. Make sure you knee him on the face.
Whatever he did the week before, you should keep doing it.
Dude, just throw your body around.
If it's jiu-jitsu classes or whatever, keep going to him.
Who do you think was the MVP? I'll start with Oscar. Who was the MVP? And what was the moment of the game for you?
All right, I have 2 MVPs. My MVP of the game is Grimaldo for what he did on that wing, left wing, right? But my first half MVP is definitely Rafa. Rafa changed the game when offensively. Like he was on. Every time he touched the ball, it was like a highway in front of him. Like he just left the guys behind. Like everybody was just falling down, and the only way to stop him was a foul. It's legit. Like they had to break his leg. So first half, if Rafa play like that first half every single game, he'll be the MVP of the league, no doubt.
Dude, Rafa got me off my seat like 3 or 4 times in that game. I was like, go.
Dude, he had a couple that had burst of speed. He left him.
It's almost like his first touch that game took players out of the question. Like just took him out of the way and like he was out free. I don't know how the hell they let him just go free like that. The first touch was amazing.
Imagine we had that Rafa and the Super Taça in those first 10 minutes where he had a couple plays that he could have made a decision.
No. He first half Rafa, but a full game Grimaldo, and he scored a beautiful goal as well.
What was your moment of the match? Decision, moment, play.
I shouldn't say this online, but the Iranian guy freaking
red card.
This guy. Oh man.
This ain't that heavy, dude.
Kenny, MVP, and what was your moment or play of the game, a decision?
Yeah, so for MVP, I'm gonna have to say the whole team playing. They finally put together like a really good game as a complete team. So, I could give it to Grimaldo or Weigl, but I'm gonna give it to the entire team. I think they all, even Nuno, Tavares, they just all played very well together for the first time in a while. Play the goal. I mean, I thought that goal was class. From the early cross in to the one, the one pass layup to Grimaldo, and then the little stab, little chip, over the goalie. That was beautiful. It was beautiful. All one time stuff. Like, it's just good. That the run, even Grimaldo making that run, right? Like,
yeah,
like just the instinct to do that. It's just the whole thing was just perfect timing, everything.
And I agree with Kenny on that. And even the one that we hit the post, that was a nice play that was drawn up where I think it was Pizzi that made that run, or Rafa made a run to the side, and they crossed it, and Darwin hit the post. Those are really. If
he had a size smaller shoe, that thing would have been in the net.
What did Jesus said? It was a perfect play, and it hit the post. If he wasn't a perfect play, he would have scored a goal or something.
No. The thing is, I didn't.
Thank you.
I think that's what he said. I saw it loud. I was like, "What do you say?"
I play golf with Paul, right? I gotta say this. So I play golf with Paul, right? Paul always tell me, "Oh, if the trees weren't there, that was going straight." Oh, thank you. If the trees weren't there, yeah. If the post wasn't there, it would go in. Yeah, I get it, but. I mean, the post is there and the trees are there. Sorry.
No, the thing is, like, that was a great save, though. We cannot take away from the save. The save was, it was lucky for the goalie to touch that ball, because I think he just happened to be there. But the shot, he could have messed. That's one shot he should have messed up and just rolled it past the goalie, right? Or he just whipped it and the ball goes right to the corner, like Marega does at 100% of the time. Right? That's how Marega scores every time. He like against Porto today, it was a whiff. The guy didn't shoot. It's like legit, like the shit. But he whiffs.
He stumped the goalie.
Yeah.
What? Before I go to Jay, are we all in agreement that goal that I knew Paul was going to pop up?
Are you talking shit, Kenny?
Are we in agreement that
I'm glad he's listening?
The ball that Grimaldo had, that he scored the goal, Seth and Darwin probably don't score it?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Darwin maybe, but he'll probably roof it before.
I don't know, man. That's tough, dude. That's like a natural lefty to be able to lift that.
Seth legit needs 7 tries to score that one.
Yeah.
I'll give him 7 tries.
Seth puts it wide, and Darwin trips over the ball and goes out of back.
I think Seth whiffs it. I think Seth whiffs it, and Darwin misses the ball and kicks Mashazine.
Jamie Smart.
Jay, what are your thoughts on MVP and then play, decision, moment of the game?
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Jay Vaz listening in.
I know. What is this? What kind of chaos is this?
Kid must be bored.
Sammy Swords and Costa's MVP.
He doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about.
He's just throwing out Portuguese names.
He must be trying to play FIFA or something. I think I would say Weigl played really well. I touched base on it. I thought he disrupted Porto's game. He was pretty much man marking Sergio. Sergio couldn't do anything. I just thought he played really well. And Grimaldo and Rafa on the wings, they just nonstop running. Grimaldo with the goal. Rafa with some beautiful runs, and probably could have scored on a couple of those opportunities, but didn't pan out. But I thought those 2 guys, those 3 guys in general played really well. But like you guys all said, the whole team played well.
I would say my man of the match is Weigl. I'm really liking to see him playing that role. My moment of the match, I think, is that Pizzi challenge on Marega like 10 minutes in. I think that conditioned him a lot. He didn't look the same. He was limping. He looked like he was in pain. And I think that challenge, whether it was intentional or not, I think he just went to get around him and tripped and fell awkwardly on him. I think that changed.
You got him on the heel, I think, and that's when I think.
Yeah, I think that just changed Marega's play. I think he was impacted by it. I don't think he was himself the rest of the game. I think he was playing maybe with a knock, and the option was: do I take Marega off at 80%, or do I bring in Evan Nielsen in at 100%? Right? Probably you stick with Marega at 80% based on what your options are. But I think that was for me the play of the game.
What about when Pep took the fall after Pizzi like just you're trying to catch a yellow,
dude? It's so annoying.
Dude, I hate that stuff. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Jay Vaz says no love for the keeper. His game would have been 4-3 Porto.
That's how you can tell he didn't watch the game.
He must be playing FIFA. He's probably talking about FIFA.
Yeah. He probably pulled out his goalie somehow.
Switch directions here. So tomorrow we got a game against Braga. Today we found out that Benfica's got 17 cases of COVID. 5 players: Gilberto, Diogo, Gonçalves, Grimaldo, Vertonghen, and Waldschmidt. So basically, we have no right back. Our center back's gone. And our left back. So we play against Braga. We lost to them 2-3 earlier this year. We were down 3-0 in that game, weren't we? And then or was it 2-1, 3-1?
I don't remember.
And then 3-2.
I thought it was 2-0, 2-1, then 3-1, then 3-2.
I think that's it. We play them in Leiria, neutral field. Not that it matters. There's no fans. Braga's lost 2 of their last 5. They just lost this weekend against Paços Ferreira, 2-0. And then they lost against Sporting. So of their last 5 games in all competitions, they've lost 2. They seem very hit or miss. But, again, they lost against Sporting, and I thought they were the better team overall. They just didn't take their chances. I watched the game this weekend against Paços Ferreira. Paços Ferreira played really good. Again, Braga had chances. Braga had possession, but they didn't take their chances like they did against Sporting. I guess what are our thoughts in terms of this game, taking into consideration that we have 5 more cases? Of those cases, I think the biggest impact one, right? Vertonghen, Todibo can come in. Jardel's back. I don't know if he's match fit since he's been out. So I think the biggest impact there is the right side because we don't have Gilberto and we don't have Diogo Gonçalves. Most likely going to have to be João Ferreira at right back, who I liked in the short time that he's played. Unfortunate for him that he gets thrown in the deep end straight away, right, with a lot of pressure. Waldo, it sucks.
When's Almeida due back?
He's done for the season. He's not going to come back.
Oh, he's done for the season?
Yeah, he'll probably only start practicing in March. By the time he gets back up to speed and everything, I don't think they'll risk him at all this season. So, Jay, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the game? Expectations, impacts potentially with the starting or those 5 players being out. Hopefully there's no cases that pop up again between now and tomorrow. JJ got retested. He was having some sort of symptoms. He tested negative again today, so he's available.
Didn't he take like 3 tests?
He took 2 that I know of. They announced this afternoon that he tested negative again. But if he's not available, the entire coaching staff is not available. So it's basically going to be him on the bench by himself. If he's not available, Nelson Verissimo is going to have to take his spot in coaching, which makes me nervous just thinking about the Taça game that he coached last year against Porto. So what are your thoughts? And before I guess you jump into that, for anyone in the chat, so we have a trivia at the end of the podcast specific to the Taça da Liga, since the next game is Taça da Liga. If you're interested in joining the chat or joining the podcast, send a message in the chat and you can pick one of Jason, Kenny, or Oscar to be on your team, and we can do a 2v2 trivia here. So if you're interested in joining, you can just do audio if you want, or you can do audio and video if you're feeling beautiful. Up to you. So let us know. Leave us a message in the chat. I can send you the link. So Jay, over to you. Thoughts on the game, impacts from COVID.
Can I just what about Braga? Anything? Any concerns from them?
From what I've seen, Paulinho's the only question mark. He's had a knock since Sporting. Carvalhal said he wasn't sure if he should have played him or not. He did.
I like he's going to be playing.
So he's supposedly one of those question marks for the game in terms of, I guess, impactful ones. But apart from that, I haven't heard anything else in terms of COVID. They did have a big case of COVID when they went to Sporting, they had like 6 guys out or 7 guys out. How many of those were first team starters? I don't know, but as far as I know, I think Paulinho is really the only impact question mark.
Okay.
All right.
Jay.
As far as the game, it's dude. I mean, I really don't know where to start. With all these players out and the coaching staff, I still think that we field a pretty decent team. I hope that we still go there and try to win the game. Obviously, we're playing for the Taça. When was the last time Jorge Jesus lost that in that cup?
Hasn't he always won?
I sent the screenshot earlier. Let me see.
But regardless, I just think that we win the game. I'm not going to say my prediction, but I think that we do field somewhat of a good team. I think we played Friday. Our guys should be well rested and prepared to go in this game.
So JJ's never lost a Taça da Liga game
Yeah.
while he was coach of Benfica.
That's great news.
His last defeat in the competition was with Sporting against Vitória de Setúbal when they lost 2-1 January 4th, 2017. And Benfica hasn't lost in the Taça da Liga in 2 years, since January 22nd, 2019.
Wait, we won it last year? We didn't win it last year.
No, I don't think we won it last year either.
Braga won last year.
So how the hell we not lose?
Braga beat Porto last year. Sporting
Braga beat Sporting. Braga beat Porto. Ruben Amorim won last year. Let's see. A última derrota do Benfica na Taça da Liga já tem quase 2 anos.
It's impossible.
22 de janeiro de 2019.
No way. Because the year before that was Sporting Porto. Sporting won in PKs. And then Sporting Setúbal, Moreirense Braga, Benfica Marítimo, they won in 2015, 2016.
Whoever put that article up, by the Lafayette.
Yeah,
It's on the Ballers newspaper. I remember that game because we lost against Porto. Was it Porto? Yeah, 3-1. That was the game that they took the red card away from, or the goal away from Rafa. Kenny, thoughts on the game, impacts, COVID?
Yeah, well, I think you're in the Final Four, right? I think at this point you're gonna play to win the cup, right? You're not just throwing a secondhand team out there. I think Braga creates a lot of chances, and they always, every time they go to play Benfica, Porto, Sporting, they're gonna put out their best effort. And considering we struggled against them last time, it does concern me. I think if we go again with the right attitude, and we've had plenty of days to kind of recoup and recover, I think we should have enough gas to play well and win the game. So even though I'm a little concerned with the right back situation, I think it's minimal, and I think we can kind of work around it.
Oscar?
I think we try something new tomorrow, and I think it's going to be Kudiba right back. All right? Can you guys not see that? The guy's fast. Like, he looked fast. I could see him playing in the right back position.
Yeah, it's a good take.
I don't hate it.
All right?
I don't know about that. I thought you meant center back. Right back?
No, but who'd you move to right back if you put Kudiba as center back? You gonna move Otamendi there?
No, I'd put Vertonghen can't play. He's got COVID.
Oh,
Jardel's most likely not going to play. I would be surprised, right?
Oh,
so
that's
it's either
true,
it's Jardel or Todibo as center back. Ferro's not going to play, right? So I would play João Ferreira at right back. That's his natural position, instead of trying to create something out of nothing, right? Todibo's only played one competitive game. He's definitely not match fit 100%. Right back's going to have to fucking run.
I forgot about Vertonghen. Right? Being unexpected. So Todibo plays center back. Okay, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. What
Servi?
Put out there. Definitely, he can't play. That's how he left, right?
Going away party.
He hasn't left yet, has he?
It's not official, but they say it's pretty much tied up. He's not even going to be called up, most likely.
And then I don't know, man. Our midfield is still going to be Weigl and Pizzi, probably most likely.
Yeah.
I can see Darwin keep playing up top with Steph. I think he's going to be most likely the same replica, other than those guys that can't play being replaced.
So wait, you think that they're going to go with Tavares and Grimaldo on the wing?
I thought
Grimaldo can't play. He's got COVID.
Oh.
So most likely
So I think at the back. So Elton Late most likely starts. Agree?
Yeah, I would say that.
And then at the back, Nuno Tavares, because Grimaldo's out. In the center backs, Otamendi, Todibo.
Yeah.
The only other option I see is Otamendi Jardel, but I guess we'll see what he decides on.
I'm going to say Jardel. Jardel's going to play there.
Okay. I'm going to guess Todibo, just because he gives us a different dynamic and a little bit more speed than Jardel.
I agree.
On the right, I think the safe bet is João Ferreira. I don't know what you guys think.
I say take the kid. Take the kid.
I don't think you have much other choices. I think you have to.
Yeah, but then
by the way,
again,
so who would be playing from Braga's side? Who would be his matchup there? Is that Galeno?
Galeno plays on that side.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a
lot. It's gonna be a lot to handle there.
Rafa better have his running shoes. I'll tell you that.
True. In the midfield, I think Pizzi, Weigl stay. Yeah. But there's rumors that Gabby can come into the team, so I think it'd be too much of a risk to.
He hasn't played. He hasn't played in forever.
Oh, we got Dave Pereira, Braga fan. Dave, if you want to join us for 10 minutes and give us your view on Braga for tomorrow's game, send me a message on Twitter and I'll send you the link and you can jump in quick. But in the midfield, I think Weigl and Pizzi, I think it'd be too risky to throw Gabby in there. He's been out for 2.5 weeks. I mean, definitely lacking match fitness. On the left,
he'll come in during the game.
I think he will
once we're up.
Do you think that Everton comes back in?
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't have Grimaldo. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, there's no one else you really.
You got Pedrinho.
Pedrinho is another option, right? Straight.
No, he's not going to sit Everton back to back. I don't think he would.
Actually, wait. So who has COVID up front?
Waldo.
That's it. No, like Seth and Darwin are good.
Yep, that we know of.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'll probably go with Everton as well.
And Rafa on the other side?
Rafa, yeah.
And then up top, is he going to stick with Darwin and Seth again?
We're going to have Nuno Tavares and Everton on that wing again.
Yeah. I mean, what other option? Like, it's either Everton or Pedrinho. Either way, you're gonna struggle, dude. Either way,
I would almost be inclined to put Rafa there because he's going to help defensively. But then again, if you have João Ferreira on the right,
I'd rather have Nuno Tavares. He's been exposed more.
He likes Chiquinho. So do you think Chiquinho or Chicão? What do you think he gets a start?
He played him on the left.
What if he did? He has played him on left. Or what if Pizzi goes back to the wing and he plays Chiquinho in the middle?
With Pizzi won't play. He won't.
I know. I'm just saying. He really likes Chiquinho for some reason, so he could be in the mix too.
He played him on the left against Estrela Amadora, but Estrela Amadora is not going to give us the trouble that a Braga can give us. So I don't know. But again, he's one of those players that what you're going to get with him, right? He can defend. He might not give you as much going forward, but defensively he'll help you. He'll be a body. Mm-hmm. Everton maybe not so much defensively. So I guess there are some question marks there. At least I think the bigger question marks are on the left side than on the right. I think Rafa starts.
He might drop Seth, play Darwin with Chiquinho, and Chiquinho help out on the left wing.
I have a question for you guys. Since I'm not a big proposer on switching up lineups. Do you think that this is a game that he goes with a different lineup, like a 4-3-3 or something of that nature, to switch it up? Just wondering.
I wouldn't be surprised because Braga plays with. They can play in a 3-4-3. They can play with 5 at the back. They play a very similar style to what Sporting plays. Give or take a few details. And Dave, if you're still listening, you can chime in on the chat if you want. But having learned from the loss that we took earlier this season, I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a few tweaks or one tweak there to try to eliminate their strength, similar to what we saw against Porto. Is that going to be a formation change or a tactical change? I don't know. Or a personnel change? I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if JJ, again, pulls a rabbit out of a hat.
Who can pull up the starting 11 that we started with in that game?
I have it here. Hold on.
Sorry. I'm just curious to see.
Maybe one advantage for Jorge Jesus as well is like you said, we played really well after seeing the first Porto game. Maybe Jorge Jesus finds something in the Braga game that he can use in this game to bring into our advantage. Maybe a lineup change or formation change or something.
Last game against them. So we were down 1-0, 2-0, 3. Yeah, we were down 3-0, 3-1, then 3-2. Lineups. They played with 4 at the back in that game. So it was for Benfica, it was Odi, Gilberto, Otamendi, Vertonghen, Tavares, Rafa, Samaris, Pizzi, Everton, Waldschmidt, and Darwin.
Waldschmidt and Darwin.
Yeah. So that lineup is close to probably what we'll see, right? Tavares take over Vertonghen, and Gilberto are gone, right? Midfield, Rafa's available, Pizzi's available, Everton's available, Darwin's available, Samaris available. Will he play? Probably not. Weigl probably comes in there, and then Waldschmidt's not available. So of that team, maybe 3 changes, maybe 3, 4. Do you give Weigl a break and put Samaris in there, or do you roll with the hot hand?
Nope, ride him. Ride Weigl.
I keep going.
The more games he gets, the better he gets. Keep riding.
Okay, fair enough. What do you guys think of predictions? Jay, I'll start with you. Speaking of predictions, hold on. Last game.
Yeah, I nailed one.
You did. So of everyone that predicted, right, 1-1, we got all the guys from the Portuguese podcast and this podcast. So altogether there were 17 predictions. And only Kenny and Oscar got the 1-1 right. Of all of them.
There's got to be some smart guys on this cast. You know? you got to do like a leaderboard of standings.
It is on the website.
That. Oh, you got to flash it on here.
Yeah, you got to flash it on here, bro.
I'll update it.
When we start talking about it, you bring in the slide. Like, bada bing, bada boom.
I think Oscar's in first place. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, he's got like 2.
What's your prediction? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Hey,
or 2.
The reason why I'm in the lead because I'm a realist, not a.
Here we go. So Oscar's got 7 points, and Kenny's got 5 points. So Oscar's in first place by 2-point lead.
I made you the tank hat. 0.
Jay's
No.
Jay's got,
He's got 1.
3. No, 2 because he didn't get a point this week because we both predicted a win.
Yep.
Jay, what's your prediction for tomorrow?
So I'm gonna go with 3-2, Benfica.
Oh, high scoring.
There will be goals, yes.
Kenny?
I'm gonna go. I think we're gonna continue with the same attitude, and I think this time it's gonna be a clean sheet. 2-0.
Oscar's not impressed.
No, because I don't want to. Because one has to win. Well, I would have said a tie, but one has to win, so it'll be 2-1 Benfica.
But like, hold on a second. How about if it's 1-1, it goes to PKs, and then the end result's 2-1. Oscar doesn't get shit, right?
Win is a win.
Yeah, but he doesn't. But you don't get the 2-1 final score.
No,
It's
I know.
No.
90 minutes.
Now, if I'll say this: if you predict extra time and Benfica win, okay, then you probably deserve some extra points.
There's no extra time, just penalties.
Yeah. So if say Benfica wins on penalty, does that count as Benfica's win? Yeah, it does, right? So I get I'll be 1 point for the win.
Correct.
You get a point for the win. Yeah.
Yeah, but the score prediction has to be the 90 minutes.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna go. I agree with Kenny. I think 2-0. Braga.
Two guys from the back line being missing. 3 with a late start. You guys are fucking nuts.
Dude, you guys are nuts. I agree. Oscar, I'm actually for the first time agreeing with you on there.
Braga got shut out against Sporting. They got shut out against Paços Ferreira this weekend.
He always plays good against us, man.
I know, but I don't know. I just see this being a game that they may make a change or two.
Little Josh Ferreira. You guys hate Nuno Tavares or Josh
Ferreira. How can I?
Whatever his name is. Either way, either guy you guys don't like the guys playing on the right back or left back. They're gonna expose that. They're gonna go after it.
And not only that, Tank, they're missing one CB too. Vertonghen's not playing. So
I understand he had a good showing the first time, but now they're playing Braga. Like Paulinho might toss them around.
What are you trying to do? Make me change my score? I'm not changing my score. 2-0. That's it.
That's it.
Mark it down.
If I rewind this thing, you said there's at least 2 smart guys in the group. You just fucking.
We'll find out.
Yeah, the 2 smart guys and me.
Honestly,
and this guy.
Yeah, no, you don't even know how to point, dude. Get out of here.
Here's my analysis, right? I really think Jesus is gonna just like with the first Porto game, he came back with a good game plan for the second time they played, and I think he's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna analyze the game. He's gonna come in with a good game plan. We're gonna score early. We're gonna defend the result, and then we'll pop one in right at the end to kind of finish it off. That's what I see happening.
I think it's gonna be an offensive feast. I mean, it's gonna be nice.
All saying over here, you guys concede almost every game. You mentioned Sporting fans before we went online or on air. Do you have anything to say to Paul?
Yeah, Taça da Liga is important again.
Hey,
it's
Paul,
important again.
No, so I was telling Paul during my
okay, this is gonna get good.
And I tell Paul, I've been telling Paul the cliff is coming, right? The cliff is and today in our little group thing, I go, hey Paul, it was like 1-0, Porto scored in the 90th or 80th minute. I'm like, Paul, go get your parachute. The cliff is here. You guys tie. You guys lose. You guys tie. You guys lose. The cliff is here, man. And then he's like, I don't care about the cup. The cup means nothing to me. I don't care about the cup. And then Sporting scores 2 goals. And go!
Chupa! He froze.
Dude, these things are so sad, man. What? At least a fucking fan is so sad. I'm telling you that they say I don't care about not winning a cup. A cup you play a final next week. I don't care about winning that cup. I want to win the league. First of all, your league ends in March, right? That's when your league ends. So then your cup was the only thing you could have won. So for you to say, I don't care about the cup. You're a fan of a little team.
I can't wait till he's on here. When is it? Next week at some point?
I'm Paul, right. Join in on this trivia game, dude.
All right, give one last chance. If anyone in the chat wants to join in on this trivia, play 2-on-2. I'll give you 30 seconds to let us know, and you can jump in. If not, we'll get started here.
Come on, guys. Don't sign up.
I got 9 questions. We'll run through them. They're all multiple choice. And you can it'll be for all of you guys. So you just tell me A, B, or C, whatever you want. And they're all 1 point, except the last one. So Paul said, throwing fireworks for a tie against 10 men. We just beat those bums.
Well, he's got a point.
All right.
Oh, man, that's actually a good one.
All right. You left Oscar speechless, Paul.
Yeah, dude,
I watched the game today, and I hate both teams, right? And I was actually rooting for Sporting because I want to play an easier team. That's why I want to play in the final. So I was actually rooting for Sporting. But they didn't do shit the whole game. Porto dominated the whole game, okay? They scored – Giovan came in and scored 2 golinhos. They did nothing. But whatever.
That whole game was trash. I didn't think it was that exciting of a game to begin with.
All right. So I'll start with Oscar. You can pick the question. So 1 through 9. Which one do you want?
7.
All right. And again, this is everyone will have an answer. You just got to tell me which one. It's not who answers first.
Wait, so we got to write it down?
No, you can just say the letter. If you want to copy the other person, you can copy all you want.
Oh, okay.
Who was the first coach to win the Taça da Liga for Benfica? Was it A. Kiki Flores, B. Jorge Jesus, or C. Camacho? Oscar, I'll start with you.
B. Jorge Jesus.
Kenny?
Jesus.
Jay?
Jesus.
Wrong.
What?
Kiki Flores won the first one.
Kiki Flores was clicking in my head for some reason.
Kenny, what year was that? It was 2000.
Kiki was only with us for 1 year, right?
Yeah, it was the first one we lost, and then we won the second one, I believe. But he was the first one to win it for us.
So, hold on. Why are we picking numbers? Why don't we just go in order? If we're all-
It's more fun. I want number
mix it up.
4.
Number 4. Okay. Who was the youngest goal scorer in the Taça da Liga for Benfica? Was it Gonçalo Guedes? Or youngest player, sorry, to play for Benfica in the Taça da Liga.
Play or
Gonçalo
score
Guedes
goals?
to play.
To play.
Gonçalo Guedes, Svilar, or Renato Sanches? Kenny, you start. A,
I'm
B,
gonna
or C?
go. I'm gonna go. A.
So you're saying Gonçalo
Guedes.
Guedes, Jay?
Yeah.
I'm going Renato.
Oscar?
I'm gonna go with B. Slivar.
Slavad is not an option. Svilad, dumbass. Kenny got it right. Gonçalo Guedes. 18 years and 1 month. Svilad was 18 years and 3 months. And Renato was 18 years and 4 months.
Dude, wow.
So Kenny's got
Very
one.
close.
Jay. Pick a question.
10?
There's 9.
9?
Vás no ouvidas.
In the 2008-2009 final of the Taça da Liga against Sporting, Benfica tied 1-1 in regulation, and they won in penalties. Who scored the 5th penalty to win the title? Was it A. Carlos Martins, B. David Luiz, or C. Cardoso? Jay, you go first.
What year was it?
2008-2009.
Who was the third choice? It was Cardoso.
Martins.
It was Carlos Martins, A. David Luiz, B. or Cardoso, C.
Dude, honestly, I would say Cardoso would take the first. I'm going with David Luiz. That's a guess, though.
So you say David Luiz, Oscar?
It's who took the winner, right? The final
The winning
goal.
penalty. Yep.
I'm gonna say David Luiz as well.
I'm gonna say. What if he had taken? I'm gonna say Cardoso.
Didn't he take the first one?
Wrong. Carlos Martins scored the last one.
Oh.
So penalties was Aymar missed, Cardoso scored, Katsurani's missed, David Luiz scored, and Carlos Martins scored. On Sporting, it was Romagnoli scored, Rochenbach missed, João Moutinho scored, Derlei and Pustiga.
Moutinho, holy shit.
Massa Podre, he scored.
Not that
Right. Masapo, that's what it was. I don't know what I was thinking. Oscar, back to you. Pick a number.
I'm gonna pick 8.
8. Who scored Benfica's first goal in the Taça da Liga? Was it A. Udabao? You guys remember him?
No.
I remember the name. Clearly.
A. Udabao, B. Freddie Adu, or C. Oscar Cardoso?
It's going to be so stupid.
Because it's too obvious.
Oscar, you go first.
I'm gonna say the Americano.
Wait, what? So first goal ever
goal
for the Taça da Liga?
In this competition, yeah, for Benfica.
Because
I'm gonna go Freddie Adu too. I'm going Freddie Adu.
Jay?
Might have been his only goal.
A few bangers against Porto. Scored 1.
I'm going to go the first one that you said.
Chinês.
No, actually, no, not him. I'm going to go with Cardoso. Fuck it.
All right. Oscar and Kenny got it right. Freddie Adu scored. Do you guys remember? It was a game against. Actually, I'm not going to tell you what the game was, but I remember when it happened. We were at the Portuguese club getting ready for soccer practice, and I remember I was listening to the game, and he scored.
Wasn't it his first goal for Benfica or no?
Yeah.
It was, right?
Yeah.
I'm
We'll come to the question about the game. Kenny, pick a one.
What's left?
1, 2, 3, 5, and 6.
1.
I'm terrible at this.
Who is the player with the most appearances in the Taça da Liga for Benfica? A. Luizão, B. Maxi Pereira, or C. Jardel?
I'm going to go Luizão.
Jay? Oscar?
Que caralho. That's 3 guys that play probably all the team. I'm gonna go with that, like the outside of the circle. I'm gonna go with Jardel, motherfuckers.
If anything, it would be Moxie, I think, will come in second.
Jardel's right.
What?
Luizão and Maxi have 24, and Jardel has 34.
It's a league,
Oh,
so
wow.
that second string plays.
Like I said, I'm terrible at this game.
Jay, 2, 3, 5, and 6.
5.
5. Who has the most assists in this competition for Benfica? Overall, is it A. Carlos Martins, B. Zivkovic, or C. Pizzi?
I'm gonna go with Pizzi.
Oscar?
I know it's Carlos, but I'm gonna go with PC too.
It's Pizzi, Carlos Martins, and who else?
Pizzi, Carlos Martins, and Zivkovic.
In this competition alone?
Correct. Just in the Taça da Liga.
I'll tell you this: if it's Zikovic,
I'm gonna say Zikovic.
Oh wait, dude.
You're all wrong. It's Carlos Martins.
I knew it. I haven't seen it.
Carlos Martins has 6, Zivkovic has 5, and Pizzi has 4.
Oh, well, why I have yet to get one right. Why are you copying my answers? Like, don't copy. Say the opposite of what I said.
This kid's gonna have a goose egg at the end.
Legit, I you just eliminate. You can eliminate my answer, but then there's two answers there for you.
Jay, you got, or who just picked the last one? Was it
Jay did.
Jay? So Oscar, you got 2, 3, or 6.
2.
2. Who is the leading scorer in this competition for Benfica?
I'm gonna get this one right.
Is it A. Cardozo, B. Jonas?
No, you cut off. You cut off. Say it again. You cut off.
Who is the leading scorer in the competition for Benfica?
Okay.
Is it A. Cardozo, B. Jonas, or C. Rodrigo?
Fucking A.
Am I going first?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Shit. All right. Tequada.
I'm gonna lock in Jonas.
Kenny?
So it's Jonas, Cardozo, and who else?
Rodrigo.
Dude, if it's fucking Rodrigo.
I'm gonna say.
I don't think so. No.
I'm gonna say Cardozo.
So Kenny and Oscar say Cardozo and Tank. Who's yours?
Jonas.
Tank on the board.
Too bad. That one's good. I knew
Jonas has 10, Cardozo has 7, Rodrigo has 6.
So how far behind am I?
They got 2, you got 1.
Oh, I'm back in this, boys.
Yeah. Left, Kenny, you got 3 or 6. The last
3.
one is worth 3 points.
3.
3. Who is the player with the most assists in one single game in this competition for Benfica? So just in one game, who got the most assists in one game?
I know this one.
Is it Carlos Martins?
Answer right now without the selections.
Carlos Martins, Zivkovic, or Pizzi?
No, I don't know this. I don't
Well,
know
so Carlos Martins has the most assists. I would assume he got most of them in one game. So I'm gonna say Carlos Martins.
I'm gonna say Zikovic.
Oscar?
I'm going to say Carlos Martins.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Jay got it. Zivkovic.
I'm back in this!
So
Dude, obviously he's not going to give Carlos Martins the same answer twice, guys. Come on. Like
He
How do you
got
know?
he got three. Benfica
like,
beat Vizela 4-0 in 2016-17, and he got 3 assists in that game. All right, last question.
That's how many points is this one?
Everyone's all tied up, right?
Yep, 2 points each.
Wow, that's a comeback by me. Huh?
Last question here. Who was the first team that Benfica played against in this competition? The very first team. Was it A, Estrela da Amadora, B, Vitória Sport Clube or Vitória de Guimarães, as you guys will know them, or C, Penafiel? Kenny.
Can I answer?
Yeah, you can answer. Guimarães, Jay.
C.
Penafiel.
What are you fucking looking at the computer?
Look
What
at
are you?
Google over here, dude.
Me? No, I'm writing.
Oscar.
I'm writing it down. All right. So wait. So let's.
Estrela,
All right, so
Vitória, or
people-
Penafiel?
If two people tie, what happens there?
Guys, just fucking answer the question. Don't worry about the tie.
We tied.
To make it easy, I'm gonna say Estrela just so we can all divide it.
All right. And Oscar won.
He wasn't gonna go with them.
So, like I was saying, the Estrela da Amadora game was the game that Freddie Adu scored. We tied it. He tied it 1-1 in the 94th minute, and then we went to penalties and won in penalties. So, yeah,
Nice.
Oscar wins. Oscar wins it.
By default,
All right.
motherfucker.
Hey, which one were you gonna guess?
I was gonna guess Benfica. If I had to go first.
I'm surprised Kenny picked Vitória, since normally the bigger teams don't come until like the later
But
rounds.
if I remember the first year that they ran this, it was only like a small group of teams.
Might have been.
If
I
I'm
don't
not
remember.
mistaken.
I think Kenny's right.
Oh,
I think they did the knockout stages like right away. They didn't do like the group stages like they do now. I could be
Yeah,
wrong too, but
I think it was
that's
only
how
like
they-
6 teams that were in it, or 8 teams or whatever.
Possible. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Closing thoughts, boys. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about the red card on Taremi, but that thing was criminal. Like, I don't know what.
Dude, he
he's
got
thinking
one
on that.
game. 1 game suspension.
That was like really bad.
One.
Unbelievable.
I can't believe. What the hell did I just do? I can't believe he just got 1 game. Considering if you get 2 yellow cards, you get 1 game.
Yeah,
And the fact that he got a direct red and got 1 game.
What's the reasoning behind getting 1 game suspension for this?
I mean, I don't think we have enough time to go into the reasoning as to why he only got 1 game.
Because
He missed.
So let's think about this. If he broke Otamendi's leg, it would have been a 3-4 game suspension, right? So because he didn't break it the way he tackled, that's 1 game.
But a red card naturally is always 2 games. I don't understand why it was only 1 game.
That I don't understand.
That's always been like that. You get a direct red card, it's 2 games. You get
That's
2 yellows, it's 1 game, right? In the EPL, you get a direct red card, it's 3 games, automatic, and then you have to appeal it if you want to get it lower.
No,
So the fact that
what it is if you got 2 games right now or 3 games, like you should have gotten it. It's called what's that supposed to say today? I'm getting Estou perseguido. Everything's on me.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else from anyone?
That's it.
Next time we speak, we're talking about a W.
Yeah.
And we're talking to Paul. I cannot wait to talk to Paul.
Yeah, so if you're listening, if Benfica wins tomorrow against Braga, the plan is potentially do a quick preview match for the final, maybe Saturday afternoon, an hour or 2 before the game, so we can see the starting lineups, and then we'll jump off, or maybe Friday evening. If we don't make it to the final, then we'll be back early next week to preview the Sporting game for the league. So
you can make it Saturday because I'm flying out on Friday, and I want to do the podcast with Paul. Fuck, you know.
Oh, let's see that. Yeah,
that would be awesome. To be honest.
Oh, sitting together?
Yes.
Oh my god.
That would actually be entertaining as well.
That'll be good. All right, so we'll either see you Saturday or we'll see you early next week. Hopefully we'll see you Saturday. It's my birthday Saturday too, so hopefully
There we go.
a good Saturday. Everyone in the chat,
So hold on. So we're not gonna make any predictions if we win.
No, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to make a prediction if we don't make it there. So we'll leave the prediction for Saturday if we make it to the final. Paul said masks on. Oscar, bring your mask.
I got tested negative.
Everyone in the chat, thanks for sharing your thoughts, your messages. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And we will see you hopefully Saturday. See you, boys.
Let's go, baby.
Later.
Later.